one thing yenye ime come to mind after nimesoma hii masterpiece is that this book and others like it, like The River Between by Ngugi Thiong'o and Things Fall Apart by Chinua Achebe, is that they were written at a very significant part of African history, especially if you want to understand the culture of modern Africa. When I think of African history, naionanga in 3 dimensions. There is the pre-colonial period where there is a lot that ilikuwa inaendelea hapo before the colonial period. And then there is the colonial period, and then there is the post-colonial period where tuko sahi. Now, hii book na akina River Between na Things Fall Apart ziliandikwa when Africa was transitioning from the pre-colonial period to the colonial period. Hapo ndipo a lot of things zilichange. If you want to understand the culture of today, vile tunafanyanga vitu, reading that part of history inakupea perspective on how things are sahi. This one ina stand out more because ina explore even parts of post-colonial period. Vile hii book inaanza na vile inaishia, those are two totally different cultures. No spoilers. And when you start seeing African history in those 3 dimensions, kuna vile unapatanga some questions in your mind kama what happened, you know, because kwa pre-colonial period you see a very totally different Africa. Our ancestors walikuwa wanaishi on a totally different way compared to how vile sisi tunaishi. I know culture evolves and vitu change, but that was a very dramatic change because most of what our ancestors walikuwa wanafanya back then is not in our day-to-day culture. It is not very observable in our day-to-day activities. We lost a lot of culture. And the biggest question yenye mi hujiuliza after reading this kind of literature is that, did we throw the bathwater or did we throw the baby with the bathwater? Was it worth it to lose everything? Because hivyo ndivyo mi hufeel ni kama tuli lose a very big part of ourselves. Okay, I'm not trying to sound conservative, like we should go back to boys herding cows or women attending to the shambas. I'm not suggesting any of that. But what about how our communities governed themselves? What about the morality? What about the values that zilikuwa zina bind our cultures together? Were all of these things worth leaving behind? And these books play a very major role in explaining the role of Christianity in the eroding of our culture. Because ukisoma kitu kama Chinua Achebe's Things Fall Apart, unapata akina Okonkwo wakiuliza maswali very thoughtful questions like, dear respected sir, unatuambia that tuachane na polygamy while in the Bible the likes of Solomon walikuwa na a lot of wives, and this is the guy mwenye aliitisha wisdom from God himself and he was granted wisdom. Why are you telling us that kukuwa polygamous ni a sin? You know, and the bigger question is, it is not like our ancestors were godless when Christianity arrived, but why abandon the parts of the beliefs that they did of our ancestry, our origin, everything all about that, and embrace Christianity? This is a very big question. And if you are to take anything out of this video, I would like you to ask yourself, first of all, the first question, did we throw the bath water or the baby with the bath water when we abandoned the ways of our ancestors? And the second question is, why did our ancestors cease to believe in the gods that they believed in and shifted to Christianity? These are significant questions to ask ourselves.